We talk a lot about, our best moments and whatnot, but
Yeah.
sometimes we don't talk about when we encounter moments of disappointment and things
Yeah.
don't work out the way we hope. And I'd like you, if you're comfortable talking about it,
Of
just talk
course.
about what you felt not making like the final roster and kind of in limbo sometimes with the team going back and forth, and what
Yeah.
was that like and how did you handle that emotionally?
In 2013, when I fully didn't make it, I knew I wasn't going to make it. I had a terrible tryout. Like, I would have been delusional to think that I still had a shot. I just didn't. I didn't do good, and I was dealing with a shoulder injury. So not only did I not hit, but I couldn't throw the ball. It was just embarrassing. Um, but it's still getting the email. I walked out to my dad in the living room and I said I didn't make it, and then I said just give me a second, and I went back into my room and I went back to sleep. And it was really challenging because everything was done. I graduated college. I didn't. What did I have but softball? So that was actually a huge transformation year for me, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all the good stuff. I ended up going to therapy to deal with who am I, why am I in pain, like what are all some of these things that maybe I knew about myself but never dealt with because I always had softball. I always had the sport to, we know it sometimes is an outlet, hard day, pound some balls off the tee, and you feel better.
Yeah.
So what had I been really pushing down and avoiding that now I have to face? So I went through therapy. I went through physical therapy. I just did a whole cleanse, a deep detail of Sam Fischer, and I learned a lot about how far can I continue to push myself. And I think I really truly realized what softball was to me because I made the choice to try again. This is now 10 years ago. I could have stopped. I didn't need to play anymore. But it really hit me that no, I cannot not at least try. So, but then fast forward after making the team a couple more times, then making it as an alternate, then making it the second team or the B team, the elite, whatever. That's where some of the issues with my confidence started to go a little bit, because there were times where I felt like I proved myself during season, and there were times where I felt like I proved myself during tryouts, and it felt like there comes again, maybe I'm just not good enough because, or maybe I'm not good enough for them, and turning it on myself. So it was hard. I dealt with bitterness is a tough word, but I mean, what can you say other than I feel like I earned it and I didn't get it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I've always been sort of into listening to what the universe is telling me. And in 2016, when I made it as on the second team, I hit home runs at the tryouts. Like I thought I had a good tryout. For me, I'm a run producer and throw me wherever you want to on the infield kind of player. And I feel like I produced runs at tryouts and I played multiple, I felt like I did what I was supposed to do as a player. So when I made the second team, I thought, what is the universe trying to tell me? And that's when I got the offer to play with Akron, and this kind of new door opened up, and I was starting to try to listen to that a little bit more. And just from there, from starting to play in the pro side and everything like that, it turned a negative into a positive because I think I did my best to not let the down stuff keep me down.
Yeah.
Like there were days where I sulked, believe me, I sulked,
Yeah.
because it sucked. I wanted to be an Olympian. At
Mhm.
the end of the day, it is what it is. But going forward, that's why I think I got the opportunity to play in Japan, and that's why I feel like I'm sitting here now, being able to talk about all this.
Mhm. Well, you're also conditioned to figure out what's not working and work on those things.
Right.
And, so we are, as softball players, we are hardwired to
Yeah.
figure that out. And sometimes life doesn't operate that way. And then the other thing that's kind of rolled up into that, and as much as we talk about softball, not we shouldn't focus on the outcomes. They're there,
You know?
and it is a source of validation, and we get a lot of not necessarily confidence, but I guess validation is the right word. So it's like these external things that feed into how I feel about myself internally, versus where things kind of switch for you is like you started feeling from the inside, and then things started to happen out.
Right. That's true.
And it's such a hard lesson to learn. It is like so painful when you feel like you've done all the things, and I probably did better than that person. And not even that, like my whole career stands as a whole. You get what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying they're right or wrong. Those are decisions that are made outside of our control, but it could, especially for a lot of people, you've dedicated your life to this, and it means a lot. It's your body of work. And when somebody indirectly says that it's not quite good enough, that's really painful. And
that's so true.
And I'm just like, it's so awesome to see how you've pivoted, and now you have a career that not many Americans have in Japan, where you get to play in front of like tens of thousands of people. A lot of people don't even know that about the pro league, just how large of a following it has. So I think it's awesome.